Hello everybody, Pony Flutterby here, and welcome to the first episode of Read My Book. Read My Book is going to be a series that I'm going to be doing, which is just roughly reading 14 minutes of the book that I'm reading, and you can check it out for yourself if you like it. Kind of like a preview thing. I'm not paid for doing this. So, yeah. And let's begin. This is my third take on this. And you can imagine that I am quite tired of trying to do this. But, oh well. Sorry if you're hearing noises. That's just because of how I have this set up. Yay! For a wonderful moment, Ryan thought Josh was going to make it. When they turned the corner, the bus was already at the stop. Josh had burst into a run, scattering starlings and shattering puddles. The bus's engine gave a long, exasperated sigh as they shrugged its weight forward, as if hulking, its shoulders against the rain. But Ryan still believed Josh would snatch success at last minute, like always. As always. I'm sorry, I cannot read. Then, just as Josh grew level with the taillights, the bus roared sulkily away, its tires leaving long streaks of dull against the shiny red tarmac. Josh chased it for about 20 yards, then through the tiny crystals of specks of rain that freckled his face, Ryan saw his hero stumble and slow and aim a kick at a lamppost. The bus seemed to have carried away Ryan's stomach and the last of the summer daylight. Suddenly, the dingy strings of shops, seemed much colder and darker and more dejected than before. Ryan could still taste the chocolate that had cost them their ride. The chocolate milkshake that had cost them their ride, and the flavor made him feel sick. I cannot read this round. The last round I got to page 4. Behind him he heard shells as that the lot of asthmatic asthmatic breathing and turned to find her fumbling with her inhaler. She took a deep breath, her round eyes becoming even wider for a second, so he could see the whites of all around them. Sorry if you keep seeing me do that. That's only because my phone keeps not staying on. Oh well. She stared at Josh's slowly returning figure. Josh said that the bus was always late. He said that there was time for a milkshake. I am so dead. My mom thinks I'm babysitting. Her pale eyebrows had climbed up her forehead in panic to hide behind her blonde bangs. Shush, Shell, Ryan said as kindly as he could, but it was hopeless. Shell was unshushable. But it's all right for Josh. Everyone expects him to get into trouble. I don't know how to be in trouble. Shush, Ryan said with more urgency. Josh was almost within earshot. Whether Josh felt bad about something he had done, whenever Josh felt bad about something he had done, he got angry with the whole world, became playfully vicious. Ryan did not want to be stranded in Magwhite with an angry Josh. They were not meant to be in Magwhite at all. Magway was an almost place. The gas towers and railway made it almost part of Gildley speaking. The lurid fields of oilseed rape that stretched away to the east were almost countryside. The sad little strings of houses and mini marts and the bike shop were almost a village. The town path walks were almost pretty. Someone had once been knifed here, or maybe a finger with a ring had been found on one of the paths, or perhaps the local rugby club came to pee in the canal from the bridge. Nobody could quite remember which, but something happened, and had happened to give the name Magwhite ugly edges. If Magwhite was mentioned, parents' faces stiffened as if they had picked up a bad smell. It was definitely out of bounds. There was nothing much to do there, but its out of boundness made it exciting. Feeding fries to the jackdaws outside the boarded up Magwhite post was more interesting than feeding ordinary birds in the park. Also, ever since the summer holidays, had started the forbidden exertions to picnic by the Magwhite Canal was almost routine. Magwhite was their place, but now it was nothing there was nothing Ryan wanted more than to get out of it. This is what I get for reading. I cannot say a single thing. A single thing. My point? Josh trudged back towards the others. His head bowed and the rain darkened his fierce blonde scrubbing brush hair. He seemed to be grimaced at his foot. Maybe that he had hurt it against the lamppost. Then he looked up. Ryan saw he was grinning. "It's all right," Josh agreed. Josh shrugged, wiping the rain off his yellow-tinted sunglasses with his sleeve. "We'll catch the next one." Shell was biting her lower lip, her upper lip pulling down to a point, like a little soft beak. She was trying not to disagree, because she worshipped Josh more than anything else in the world, but words always seemed to be dribbled out of Shell like water from a broken tap. "But we can't. That was the last Guildley City Line bus. Our tickets won't work for the point-to-point bus. We haven't got enough money for new tickets. For all of us, we're stuck." "No, we're not." Josh was still smiling. "I have a plan." It was a simple plan, an odd plan, but it was Josh's plan. It was a Josh plan, so it had to work. Behind the wall of the mini-mart parking lot, there was a long, tree-dangled slope that ran down the canal side. In this wood roamed escapee supermarket carts. Stripped grass trapped the wheels, creepers trailing from their wire frames. Josh's plan was to find one of these, take it to the mini-mart parking lot, attach it to a chain of carts outside of the entrance doors, and reclaim the coin deposit in the handle lot. Suddenly, everything was an adventure again. The threesome dropped all over the mall into the wood and started hunting down the trees. It was a strange wood, stranger Stranger still, now the light was fading, Ryan loved it for its litter. Yellowing newspapers nestled in the branch nooks, like a crop of dead leaves strangely patterned with print. A sprawling throne of rotten oak trailed dark ivy and coddled a treasure trove of crushed cans. The twigs of one wavering branch had been carefully threaded through the fingers of a wet woolen mitten, so that the little tree looked as if it were waiting to grow another hand, and started applauding. "Ryan, you're our eagle eyes. Find us a cart," said Josh. Ryan felt an uncomfortable swell of pride and doubt. He was never sure if Josh was making fun of him. He sees everything different from us, Shell. 'Cause his eyes, they're different. His eyes, right? They're in upside down. You just can't tell looking at them. Shell gave him a faint giggle, but in the darkness, her dimly visible face looked uncertain. Her eyes were large and widely spaced, windows into a world full of doubt and surprise. "It's true," insisted Josh. He blinks upwards, you know. "Not when you're watching. But now, in the dark, I bet he's blinking upwards. Aren't you, Ryan?" Ryan wasn't sure how to answer, so he plunged on through the trees and pretended not to hear. Scaring Shell was easy, and Josh seemed to find pleasure in teasing her. It was often hard for Ryan to remember that Shell was 12 and older than he was. Ryan himself had been moved ahead and dunked into the icy waters of secondary school a year before everyone he knew. It did not help that he was small, skinny, and full of sentences that seemed fine in his head, then came out sounding over adult and clever. He had formed an alliance of desperation with Shell. She had crud. Dismiss. That was my alarm. And that also means that... What? Oh, for Pete's sake. I had that alarm so I could get ready for soccer, if you're wondering. I'm gonna keep reading. She had an air of kitten tottering helplessness. A pallor of hair and skin made her look as if she had been through the wash too many times, losing her color and courage in the rinse, not with. All this made her an irresistible mark for the bullies in their school. Ryan and Shell had each been glad to find someone willing to talk to them, even if in Shell's case she apparently lacked the ability to stop talking. Josh had been their salvation. He had the advantage of age. There is a world of difference between a first and a second year, but in a case, no bully knew what to make of Josh. With his Cheshire cat grin and knuckle duster humor, taunts seemed to bounce off the shields of his yellow sunglasses, leaving his attackers winded by a ricochet. He won people around somehow, as if everyone wanted in on the private joke that kept him smirking. Josh had remembered Ryan from primary school. Such to Ryan's surprise, and suddenly both Ryan and Shell were taken under his capricious wings. For the last year, his friendship had protected them from the worst school-time persecutions. like an invisible amulet. For all these reasons, Ryan guessed that Shell did not truly mind Josh's teasing, but he never felt comfortable joining in with it. Oh, shoot.